lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride. Everyone's heard of the 7 deadly sins, but have you ever wondered why they're called the 7 deadly sins? It's because committing them leads to the death of the soul. They kill your connection to God, condemn your soul to hell, and can ultimately lead to your death on earth. So today, we're diving deep on these sins and how they affect you and how you can treat them. Let's get started. So first sin that we're gonna dive into, in my opinion, this is one of the worst ones because it's so common and everyone is affected by this sin. All right, so first up, lust/zina. So lust is the sin associated with pleasing oneself, specifically pleasing your own flesh. And oftentimes, this sin leads to adultery. So a lot of people, when they're in a state, they're gonna cheat on their spouse, they're gonna fornicate with random people, they're gonna fornicate with themselves, i.e. fapping. They're gonna watch porn. This leads to addiction to pornography. A lot of times it leads to unwanted children. So this whole single mother epidemic that we're having in North America and the West, 100,000% is because of lust, right? And all these kids that were born from lust, which is a major sin, are cursed, essentially. When a child is born out of wedlock, they have a really hard time being successful in life. You know, boys that are born to single mothers oftentimes are significantly more likely to end up in prison. And then the girls that are born to single mothers are 6 times more likely to also become single mothers. So, sex trafficking. So the sin of lust leads to a lot of women, a lot of children being sex trafficked, right? And I used to work at a strip club several years ago. And I'm telling you guys, probably at least 70, the majority of these girls are being trafficked. They were kidnapped at some point. A lot of them were runaways, and they ran away with their boyfriends or just were kidnapped by these guys and end up being pimped out, essentially, by these guys that make money off them, right? So this is very common. It's a very unfortunate reality that is happening, and it's all because of lust, right? And then, last but not least, pedophilia. You guys know what I'm talking about. /LGBT, right? When people are engulfed with sex demons, with lust, they'll go from sleeping with the opposite gender. I'm talking about men specifically. So they'll go from sleeping with women, and then when they can't get women or they want to keep having sex, they're gonna explore same sex, other men. And then once they're done with that, they're gonna explore, you guys already know, it's really dark, right? These men that are into this stuff, always 99.99% are addicted to porn. They're addicted to sex, really. So this is a direct cause of lust, is pedophilia. So honestly, all people suffer from lust, but it's all about being able to control these urges when they arrive. So signs that you suffer from lust. You follow very attractive women or men on social media just because they're very attractive, just because they're hot, right? So it's very common. Sign number 2 that you suffer from lust. You never commit because you don't want to limit your options. You're always looking around for that hotter girl or that hotter guy because you don't want to limit your options, right? So this is another problem with lust. A lot of people that have this mentality end up being single for the rest of their lives. And then when you end up being single and you're old with no kids, it's a very sad, depressing reality. A lot of these people that end up growing old by themselves end up mentally ill. What's that saying go? Idle minds are devil's playground, right guys? Because these people that end up by themselves for the rest of their lives, what they're missing is the best part of life, family. Because a loving family is a form of God's love manifesting in your life. A loving wife, loving husband, loving children. These are all forms of God's love manifesting in your life. So, major key, guys. Anyways, another sign. You find yourself making small talk with other people about how attractive other people are. So we all know this guy or that girl that is always talking about, oh, this girl's so hot, this girl's so hot, that girl's so hot, or this guy's so hot, etc. Right? So these people are suffering from lust. They can't control their urges. They're constantly checking out different people. Guys, when someone's like this, always checking other people, it's because 24/7, all they're thinking about is sex. I guarantee you that this person that's always checking out people is addicted to porn. 99% chance that this person is addicted to porn because their subconscious is just filled with sex, right? And then these are also, a lot of times, they're the same people that are gonna make a lot of sexual jokes, where they're gonna make maybe moaning sounds, maybe they'll make a lot of like penis jokes or booby jokes, stuff like that. When people speak, guys, they're giving you a glimpse into their subconscious, into their soul. So it's really key that you really listen to how a person speaks and what's in their mind, really, because that's truly who they are. That's what they value. If someone's like this, guys, best to keep your distance. Be friendly, but keep your distance. So let's say you're like 90% of the population and you have a problem with lust. How do you beat lust for good? So first thing first, guys, when you look at the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, lower your gaze. What does that mean? So it doesn't just mean like try not to check out good looking girls or check out good looking guys. It also means to lower your gaze for anything that's haram. So for example, don't watch porn. Don't look at seductive influencers on social media. Like, don't look at seductive social media accounts. Try to avoid social media in general. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you go on Instagram, you log in and you look at your suggested reels list, what do you see? You're gonna see a whole bunch of naked ladies dancing, promoting their OnlyFans, trying to seduce you, right? And this is all by design, guys, right? Because you are being targeted. 100,000%, the devil and his demons are after your soul, right? Because everything that happens on earth in the physical realm is just a manifestation of what's going on in the higher realms, right? So there's not a coincidence that these lustful images are popping up on your feed even though you're not looking them up actively. The devil is targeting you, and he's targeting all men. He's after us, guys, and he knows that our biggest weakness is lust. Right, so we gotta try our best to fight this, fight the shaitans, fight the jinns. You're halfway to heaven. So next up, this is the sin that I like to call the big city sin / the insta sin, because of its affiliation with social media. So number 2, pride / fahera. So pride is super common in the big cities. When you're in a big city like Toronto, LA, Miami, New York City, pride is literally everywhere, right? Gay pride, Pride Month. It's a major sin, right? It's not a coincidence, guys, that Pride Month is the 6 months of the year. But I digress. So, pride, of course, is affiliated with Instagram, with social media, because when people post photos, they are feeding their pride, their ego, right? It's all about me, 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 me. I'm better than everyone else. No one else matters. Like my stuff, love me, right? So, pride is the original sin. Pride is the sin that got Satan kicked out of heaven, right? Because he refused to bow down to Adam when God commanded him to, which led to his damnation. So, people that are inflicted with pride do not submit to God's will. They only submit to their own. They never, ever listen to anyone's advice, even if it's good advice. Ultimately, pride alienates people from God and separates them from God. As the Quran says, Allah is not with the arrogant, right? So what does that mean? He's straight up telling you guys that God is not with people that are prideful. And what does this mean? So people that, essentially, when you don't have God in your life, guys, you're left for the streets, for demons and the devil to wreak havoc in your life. So even though these people are, they're arrogant, maybe they have a lot of money, maybe they're good looking, whatever, high status, even though from the outside, they seem like that they're confident, they got it all. I guarantee you that these people have a whole lot of problems in their lives that they're not showcasing. So what are some signs that you might be suffering from pride? So the first sign, guys, is you're easily offended if you perceive that someone has slighted you. So for example, let's say you're walking into a store, you're walking in behind someone, they open a door, but they don't open it for you. It's normal to have like a minor annoyance, but when it gets to the point where you actually get angry, where you actually say something, that's a sign that there's something going on with pride. Second sign, you take offense when people don't greet you first. So if you ever go somewhere, say for example, you go to work, you go to a party, and you're the type of person that's like, oh, they gotta say hi to me first. Why do I gotta say hi to them first? Da, da, da. That is a sign that you're suffering from pride. Third sign, when you're talking to people, all you do is talk about yourself, and you don't really care about what other people have to say. Or when other people are talking, you kind of zone out. There's no one home. You're thinking about something else. You're thinking about your turn to talk, and you're thinking about what you're gonna say when it's your turn to talk. That's another sign that you have pride. Fourth sign, you look at others as beneath you. All right, this is the most obvious sign that someone is prideful, when they think they're better than everyone else. So how do you cure pride exactly? So the best way to cure pride, guys, is trying to see people like God sees them. So try to imagine the immense love that God has for each and every single person. Try to remember that everyone started off as a little tiny cute little baby. And remember that every single person that you see, even the most successful looking ones, are going through a struggle, just like you. And also try to remember that every person has a soft and vulnerable side that they never show to anyone. Because I find, like, especially in the big cities, we tend to forget these things. We tend to take people at face value and not realize that everyone has layers to them. Everyone is going through their personal struggles. Everyone has their problems, just like you, possibly even worse. Next up, we got sloth/kasal. This is also, more simply put, laziness, being lazy. All right, guys, so in my opinion, this is also one of the worst sins that you can commit. Because with laziness, it keeps you from fulfilling your obligations to your family, to yourself, and ultimately to God. It's super common. Every single person on earth suffers from laziness, at least from time to time. Laziness will keep you poor, will keep you single and unhealthy, all while being okay with it because you're too lazy to care. Laziness prevents people from praying, ultimately killing their relationship with God. And as a subcategory of laziness, we got ignorance, which is laziness of the intellect. So ignorance, guys, is actually one of the top reasons people end up in hell, because the vast majority of people on earth are completely ignorant to the spiritual reality of where we live in, of earth and our purpose here. And because of this, they're gonna perish, right? That's the whole purpose of my channel, guys, of my life really, is trying to wake people up to the spiritual reality, because for people to go to hell because of ignorance, it's not an excuse. Obviously, we're gonna skip top signs someone's lazy because duh. Now, how do you fix laziness? So guys, the best way to fix laziness is to remind yourself that your time is limited, life is short, and you don't have that much time to accomplish everything that you want to get accomplished. One really effective method is to remember death. Remembering death, remembering that at any moment, your life can be taken away like that, gives you a sense of urgency. Instead of waiting for next year, next month, whatever in the future, you get stuff done now, because all you ever really have is the present moment. And according to the Quran, guys, the biggest regret people have when they pass away, when they're facing God, is that they were too lazy to learn about God while they were alive and to build that relationship with Him. There's a surah, actually, I'm gonna read it to you guys. Surah Al-An'am 27. If only you could see when they will be detained before the fire. They will cry, "Oh, if only we could be sent back. We would never deny the signs of our Lord, and we would surely be of the believers." My heart really goes out to these people. These people that lived their entire lives and refused or didn't know any better that God is real, and then ended up in hell because of their ignorance. My heart really goes out to these people. Number 4, we got greed / Joshe. So greed is a love of material things. Greed causes people to steal, causes them to lie in business dealings, and also causes them to backbite other people so they can gain an advantage in the business world. So what greed does in the spiritual realm is it closes your heart, it closes your compassion. So you no longer feel compelled to give to charity. And as we all know, giving to charity, zakat, is one of the pillars of Islam. Essentially, what greed does is it trades away your eternal life for the life of this world. So what's the best way to cure greed? It's very easy to cure greed. The best way, give money to charity. Giving to charity spiritually also blesses your wealth and attracts more of it. Right, guys? So major key, if you want to make a lot of money, the Quran even talks about this too, guys. Like, there's a verse in the Quran, or several verses, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you give Allah a goodly loan, i.e. you give money for his purpose, for his sake, he's gonna double, triple, 7x your money back. Last but not least, giving to charity, guys, can extend your life. Okay, this is based off of Jewish and Islamic teachings. Giving money to charity is such a pious act that God loves that he will literally add years to your life. All right, so number 6, next up, we got envy / hasad. So guys, this thing right here is a weapon of mass envy. Social media. Whenever people post on social media, the vast majority of times, the other people that are viewing these posts, these pictures, these videos, they either don't care, or they're judging the person, or even worse, they're wishing evil upon this person. Like, this person doesn't deserve this car. They don't deserve this house. They don't deserve this wife. They don't deserve this husband. And then what happens is that all this negativity that is going through this image affects them negatively in some form or matter, right? So definitely, if you have social media, please, please, please try not to post things that you love. So don't post your kids. Definitely never post your kids. Don't post your wife or your husband. Don't post family. Don't post your belongings. Don't post anything other than just yourself. Even then, it's a little bit sketchy. Right, but if you have to post, just post yourself. And this will protect the things that you love in your life. Okay, guys? So what is envy? So envy is the resentment and the longing for other people's possessions, qualities, or luck. And many times these thoughts are accompanied with thoughts of them losing said things. You know, guys, like, envy is evil eye. It's the same thing. When evil eye, in case you don't know what it is a supernatural phenomenon when people give other people a bad look, like a nasty look, like the stink eye. It causes them damage. Possibly, it can lead to, a lot of times it's bad luck. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said in a hadith that a lot of people, a lot of men, end up in the grave because of evil eye. Right, so this is a real phenomenon. This is a phenomenon in all cultures, all ancient cultures. This was a thing. So obviously, if this was a thing at a time, in all cultures at a time when not all cultures were connected, weren't talking to each other, it's a reality. So why is envy a sin anyways? What's going on? So envy is a sin because it divides people. It sows discord amongst brothers and sisters. Right? When someone's envious of another person, a lot of times they're gonna gossip, right? Gossip is rooted in envy. It's rooted in jealousy. So, and then gossip is one of those things that not only does it destroy the person that's being gossiped about, it also destroys the person that is doing the gossiping. It's actually one of the top reasons why people end up in hell, is gossiping. And you know, envy is especially despised by God, because when you envy someone or something that someone has, you're implying that God made a mistake. You're implying that God made a miscalculation, that this person didn't deserve it and that you deserve it. And God really doesn't like that. That's a huge no-no in God's eyes. So how do you cure envy? How do you stop yourself from getting to that point? So the best way to cure envy, guys, is to remind yourself that God, in his perfect wisdom, gives every person their fair share. Always remember, guys, that even though someone has something that you might want, your time's coming too. God is going to bless you as well, because God is just. He gives everyone their fair share. So just because someone has a lot of money, for sure, there's other parts in their life that is empty, right? They might not have kids. They might not have a wife or a husband. Yeah, everyone has their own personal struggles in their life. So having that mentality will kind of ground you and kind of remind you of your blessings. All right, so next up, we got gluttony / al-sharaha. So gluttony is the overindulgence of things. So most commonly it's food, but it can also include screen time. It can include drinking. It can include lustful thoughts, things of that nature. So how does gluttony manifest in your life, in your reality? So if you're a glutton with food, it manifests with obesity, which can obviously kill you. It could take your life. Screen time. If you spend too much time on the screen, it takes away time from your family, from your hobbies, and ultimately from God. If you're gluttony with material things, materialism, like you're always buying stuff, you're obsessed with cars, houses, it disconnects you from God, ultimately. So how do you fix gluttony? So the easiest way to fix gluttony, especially for food, is fasting. So not only are you going to refrain from food, but you're also going to get closer with God through fasting. You're going to get credits for the afterlife, things of that nature. Screen time, set a timer for your screen time. And then your phone will limit you automatically, help you with the discipline. And then for material things, if you're obsessed with stuff, always remember, guys, that this life is transient. Everything that you have in this life, your cars, your clothes, your houses, you're not going to be able to take with you in afterlife. So that's always a good reminder to sort of ground you to what really matters in life, which is your family, your memories, your experience, God. Last but not least, number 7, wrath / gadab. So wrath is extremely dangerous, guys. Wrath is a wicked emotion. It can, a lot of times when people get into an angry episode, they're at the mercy of the devil. It leaves you vulnerable for jinns / demons to come into you, possess you, and do things that you normally wouldn't. So a lot of times people lose complete control. They'll be yelling at the top of their lungs and be ready to get physically violent, possibly hurt other people, hurt themselves. And this is not that person doing these actions. This is a demon that takes over that person for a brief moment in time and makes them do crazy stuff. And this gets exasperated if that person is drinking alcohol or if they're doing drugs. Someone that tends to suffer from anger, wrath, typically will also be an impulsive person. They're gonna be the type of person that does things on the whim, is extremely reckless, and a lot of times this can lead to their demise in this life and in the afterlife. So if this is not kept in check, guys, extremely dangerous. All right, so some signs that someone is suffering from an anger issue. Escalation of minor inconveniences. So someone who's suffering from the sin of anger, they're gonna blow up the smallest little problem into a huge issue. So for example, let's say someone's driving and then someone else cuts them off. This person is not only gonna drive up faster than them, they're gonna go in front of the car, they're gonna brake check them, try to get them to crash, / possibly, try to make them to pull over so they can start fighting. And the thing is, this person's gonna think that their behavior is normal. They're gonna think that every time that they blow up, that it's justified, that other people are the problem, not them, right? And this is mental illness 101. People that are mentally ill don't realize they're mentally ill unless other people tell them. Another big sign is they lose friends and family because of their anger. So someone that has anger issues, obviously they blow up at everyone all the time, including strangers. Obviously, friends and family aren't gonna put up with this for too long. Thus, they go their separate ways. And that goes on to the last sign. This person, the people that are around this person are always gonna feel like they're walking on eggshells. Like they gotta watch what they say, they gotta watch their tone, all that stuff. So big signs that someone is suffering from anger demons big time. So how do you cure anger? So guys, first and foremost, I'll be honest with you. When I was in high school, even when I was in college, I had anger issues, right? I was bullied when I was a youngin', when I was in elementary school, middle school. So I grew up with all this anger, like, F the world. I was always fighting in school and stuff, so I always carried so much anger. But now that I'm older, obviously, I get annoyed sometimes when people try to test me. But the best way to cure that anger that builds up within you? Remind yourself that God will handle them. Because 100,000%, every single time someone messes with you, what happened to them? Eventually, something goes wrong in their life. They lose their job, they go through a breakup, get divorced, some sort of terrible accident. Sometimes they even pass away, right? And you always find this out. It's almost as if God is letting you know, hey, I got your back, right? So it's always best, guys, if possible, unless your life's in danger, do not get into a scuffle with a person when they're bothering you, because God's gonna take care of it for you. Right? What does the Quran say? What does God tell you in the Quran? He calls himself the best of protectors. So you, as one of God's servants, you're protected. He's got you covered. He's got your back. Now, if for some reason that doesn't work for you, like that's not enough motivation, like you want revenge right now, you gotta remind yourself, guys, that God is watching you. What we have to remember is that God created certain people to test you. Right? It says in the Quran, do you not realize that we created some of you as a trial for others? Will you not be patient? What is God talking about exactly? He's talking that there are certain people that come into your life that are there to test you. There to push your buttons, there to anger you. Because God wants to see how you're going to react. Are you going to react like a true Muslim, like a true servant of God, with peace, with compassion? Or are you going to stoop down to their level, right? Always remind yourself that, always remember that God is watching you. He's assessing what you're doing in this situation, and then act accordingly, of course. Third thing you can do, take a walk. Literally, get out of the house, get out of the school, get out of the workplace, whatever. Go outside, walk outside for like 5 minutes. I promise you guys, there was a study done where it showcased that the vast majority of people, within 90 seconds of a confrontation, when they're separated with the other person, cool down. They're no longer angry. So taking a walk, guys, is a great way to calm yourself down and get yourself back to a base level. And then last but not least, if you're angry, wash yourself. Do what we'll do. Wash your face, wash your hands, elbows, take a shower if you can. And not only does this purify you physically, it also purifies you spiritually, right? Because when we do what we'll do, guys, it's not just a physical thing, it's a spiritual thing as well. And what does this mean? So this means that whenever you do what we'll do, it literally exercises, it expels the demons, the jinns within you. So you come to the prayer in a purified state. And also, so obviously when you're angry, you do what you do, it expels the angry emotions out of you and relaxes you. All right, guys, so that's it. That's the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. A whole lot of research goes towards these videos. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help people. So I really hope that you guys found value in this video and it helps you out and helps other people in your life. And yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. God bless you. Peace.